Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. We have two special guests with us today. This is Colt Westbrook and Jason Stulce from Walrus Audio.
Yeah.
Glad to have you guys here.
Thanks
Good
for
to see
having
you.
us.
You bet, all the way from Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
And we are absolutely excited to have you guys on board here as part of the Sweetwater family.
Yeah.
We're thrilled. It's been
the
awesome
feeling is
today.
mutual.
Yeah.
Right. So tell us what you're up to today. What were you doing here at Sweetwater?
So today specifically was our first day to be live on Sweetwater.com, and so to kind of celebrate, we came up here to spend time with a lot of the employees, just introducing the pedal lineup and kind of telling the brand story to people who have heard of us and people who haven't. So just doing some brand evangelism today.
Nice. Yeah. That's great. I know the sales engineers had a chance to check out the pedals. You guys had what, 3 or 4 pedal boards up there, kind of loaded out with all the different items available, which is very cool.
Yeah. And with headphones, so people can be as great or as bad as they want to be.
Right.
They're the only ones that know. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the brand story. Tell us a little bit about the company. Where did it come from?
So the company, we started in Norman, Oklahoma, and recently in the last years, which is 30 minutes south of Oklahoma City, and then kind of moved HQ to Oklahoma City proper. Started out with the Voyager overdrive in about 800 square feet, and so we're up to about 16 pedals in a little 6,000 square foot warehouse in Oklahoma City. A team of about 12 people.
Right.
Make it all happen.
Right.
So yeah.
So one of the things that I like about the lineup and that I've really been enjoying as I've been checking these out is that you say you do a overdrive or a delay or whatever, but there's always a little twister. There's always something a little bit different that gives it a unique flavor, a unique capability. Yeah. Tell us where the ideas for the pedals come from.
Well, so we find a lot of inspiration from music we listen to. So a lot of gear that's made finds inspiration from other gear, and that happens sometimes, but a lot of the times we're listening to albums, songs, artists, and we get really stuck on some of the sounds between some of their songs, and we try to recreate those. And so a lot of the time, for instance, like with tremolo, we'll take things that people have loved about tremolo for a long time, and then try to bring maybe some professional grade new tweakability to it. So like with recently the Monument harmonic tremolo, the option to go between standard tremolo and harmonic tremolo, we wanted to do something like that. And so from listening to music to making something that professional artists can use and tour with. So yeah.
I think we just are always looking for ways to innovate on, existing effect categories, but still keep things intuitive. And that's not always easy to do, and we try really hard to make that happen.
Right. Yeah, I like the combination of the versatility and the flexibility. You have some videos on your site where you're doing the songs from the shop. Where, for example, you're running vocals through the Fathom Fathom reverb and things, where you're putting those pedals to work, doing some different things than you might expect from them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what is your approach to that? Are you trying to tailor towards something that's going to be widely usable, or are you looking for a specific sound? You mentioned a specific sound. You mentioned songs that'll inspire you or whatever.
Yeah. So I think with a lot of times with development, we're looking for sort of like usual suspects in terms of sounds, but definitely not limiting ourselves to that. So like with the Fathom reverb, for example, you'll find Hall and Plate modes, which you're going to find on a lot of reverb pedals, and then you're also going to find lo-fi and sonar modes, which are sort of a departure from those usual suspect sounds that you would find. I think we just try to build in some of the classic, but then also some of the maybe experimental or more niche type sounds.
Right.
New sounds that almost everybody would at least find a setting that they can really use, in whatever setting they're in. So.
Right. Yeah. And there's also additional controllability as far as the controls on the front panel, or being able to add expression pedal control to some of the different effects. So are you looking at these as more performance type effects, or are you looking at them as kind of set it and forget it kind of things?
I think where Walrus sits, we are kind of looking to make performance type of effects, effects that can be in the studio and be on tour. And there's a lot of manufacturers that are kind of making more experimental or more hobbyist type of effects, but we've kind of found a niche doing what we do, and we're just kind of keeping on going with it.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a challenge for me to design a pedal that can kind of stand on its own with the controls that you just see at face value, but then also build in some flexibility and some tweakability that you can do live with some of the controls like stomp switches and things like that that have different jobs. But I think that the main part of the challenge is developing them so that if you didn't know about the extra features, they're still going to be awesome as far as in terms of sounds and usability. But then you can take them to an entirely different level when you do learn about those extra features that are layered. And the balance is not making sure to not get too deep with those layers.
Right.
To still keep things intuitive. So
Right.
yeah, there's a lot on our mind.
Yeah,
developing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, a big part of it as well is you want the pedals to look cool, and you guys definitely have a unique, recognizable vibe to just the appearance of all the pedals. Where did that come from?
Well, it kind of came just from, the Voyager was the first pedal, and so trying to at that time, probably in 2012, most pedals were just, one color, and if it was a phaser, it was like the phase machine, and and so I think with every pedal we try to make it look as good as it sounds, and try to create a story behind each pedal. Like the Julia has a story, or the 385 has a story. Every pedal's got a story behind it that really speaks to its name, and so kind of creating these subcultures in each of these pedals that goes along with the brand that kind of sticks in people's minds a little bit more than if it were just the Phase Master. I hope the Phase Master isn't a pedal. So I'm going to get an email from the Phase Master makers.
Right. Thanks a lot.
You really screwed us over.
Yeah. Right. You mentioned the 385, and if I remember correctly, that's the one that was based on a film projector preamp. Is that right? Tell us the story of that.
It's yours.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at overdrives. We were wanting to do another overdrive. We were thinking amp-style overdrive, which we had not done to that point. And, I was just thinking, okay, we could do something in the vein of a Fender, Marshall box, and there's so many good options that exist that kind of cover those bases that we could have done another one, and it could have been great and it could have been fun. But I was at a Dawes show and I saw these guys using these film projectors for their guitar amps, and that just really sparked a thought of what if we do this and model it after these amps, which are not that much of a departure from other amps you might hear. But it created this genuine, unique sort of backstory for an amp-based overdrive pedal. So it's super touch responsive, really active tone controls. Again, it's really just based on the stock circuit that you find in that film projector that you can find them on eBay usually any day of the week. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
A number of the pedals have features that I think are going to be particularly of interest to ambient musicians. You've got, for example, on the reverb, you've got a sustain switch that lets you dial things in, and some of the other effects as well. The Julia will do pretty extensive modulation type effects. Is that a genre you guys are targeting toward in addition to the more traditional kind of sounds?
That's a good question. So with the Fathom, we wanted to design it to fit the space at the extremes. So if someone wants just an always-on reverb, the Fathom's great for that. Set the mix probably at noon, and you can leave it on hall plate or lo-fi, and it's a very rich sounding reverb just to add at the end of your chain. But then also for the people who want to crank it and light a candle in their dorm room and get geeky, you're totally welcome to do that too. And so the answer to the question is both. So trying to, especially with the ARP-87 and the Fathom, trying to create something that people who just want something standard that can just be a workhorse for that standard effect sound, these pedals can meet that need. But also people who want to take it into the experimental realm or the ambient realm, things like that, this pedal can also meet that need as well. And so really it's kind of both.
mentioned the ARP-87. I think my favorite thing about that pedal is that it's the compact size, but it has the 2 switches, so you can do tap tempo and you can do the bypass right there on the front panel, which is very cool for a crowded pedal board.
Yes, that was the whole goal, was try to make something small, something affordable, and something that had tap tempo.
Right.
You know, and so ARP-87 came out of that.
Guys, we're so excited to have you here at Sweetwater. The pedals are awesome. There's so many possibilities there, whether you're looking for traditional sounds or, like you said, taking it out into the experimental realm. So we think people are going to have a lot of fun with these. So we're very excited to have it. And we're excited to have you here as well.
Yeah,
Jason,
we're
excited
to be here.
Colt,
thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
Safe travels back to Oklahoma City.
Thanks a lot.
And come back soon.
Okay,
we will.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining me for Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. Be sure to tune in next time. We'll have more guitars, more amps, more effects. We'll be making lots of music. I'm Mitch Gallagher.